Good morning, ultimate hustlers and digital empire builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we're talking ownership over everything with JP CEO. The power of ownership is something that literally goes over most of our heads in the Black community. We know we need to own our own ish, but for some reason, we always get talked out of it. We always get talked into just being a part of ownership. No, we're talking ownership over everything today. And when I say my guest today is the epitome of ownership and fighting for ownership, you guys are you're gonna hear from her own mouth. So do me a huge favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that show button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it this morning. Yo, what's up, ultimate hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities, and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally, or I've learned from, or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I'm, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Black Biz Success Mastermind Studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're not familiar with the Black Business Success Mastermind, all it is a group of Black entrepreneurs who are looking to grow and scale their own businesses. It's a great place for one of three people. You either want to start a business, you already have a business, you want to grow and scale it, or you want to support and network with Black-owned businesses. Either way, text keyword mastermind to 314-866-4053. Again, text the keyword mastermind to 314-866-4053. Today, I am honored and privileged to talk to someone I have a tremendous amount of respect for. And when it comes to ownership, she is doing it big. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know when it comes to media, when it comes to entertainment, for years, we have been getting the short end of the stick when it comes to owning our own content. And we're going to be talking about the power of ownership, especially in media and entertainment. There's no reason you should have to fight for masters and stuff like that as the creative, but that's where the industry is going. T-Pain released the amount of streams that a person has to have in the music industry just to earn $1, right? It is bananas how much money they make off of us because we don't understand the power of ownership. But before that, a couple quick announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, the Black Biz Success app, the only sales, marketing, and lead generation software developed specifically for small businesses and solopreneurs. The price is going up, ladies and gentlemen. So we just added our support team in. So now we got full support, US-based support. So when you go and build your website on the app, when you go and create your text message autoresponder, you actually have a full-fledged knowledge base with videos, and If you need support, you hit the support button and you get real live human beings based in the US who understand marketing to help you with your project. So that is super dope. And that's why the price has got to go up. But for now, you can get all of that for $97 per month. Also, the Black Biz Success Show is dropping on Roku real soon. And if you are a business owner and you want to connect with other business owners, you got products and services that are specific to business owners, like you're a business attorney, you're an accountant, this is a great place for you to market and get your services in front of tons and tons of people. And I've got a lot of free tools and resources to help you grow your business if you decide to support the channel. Just comment keyword support, and I'll put you in touch with our sales team that gets you on the platform as a dedicated partner of the show. I think that's it, man. So without further ado, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce a young lady that I've been following for my entire online journey these last 6 or 7 years. I think I've known of JP and got a chance to work with her and share a couple of panels with her and things of that nature. And then when she invited me to come and be a part of her Unheard TV network, I was just blown away. And then get to work with her closely. I'm even more blown away by what she's putting together. So let me introduce to some of you guys and present to others, Ms. JP, CEO. Good morning, JP. How are you, sis?
Top of the morning. I'm good. I'm fired up.
Awesome.
I'm fired up this morning. So let's go.
I love it. Well, before we get into who you are and what you do and why you're a stickler for owning everything that you put your hands on, we like to start the show with a quote or a book excerpt of the day. For the last 30 days, I've been rereading for the umpteenth thousand time Think and Grow Rich. So I've got an excerpt for this segment, and then I want you to give me your thoughts on it as well. This excerpt is in the section they're talking about the 6 common fears, right? He says, without doubt, the most common weakness of all human beings is the habit of leaving their mind open to the negative influence of other people. This weakness is all the more damaging because most people do not recognize that they are cursed by it. And many who acknowledge it neglect or refuse to correct the evil until it becomes an uncontrollable part of their daily habits. JP, your thoughts on negative influences and expunging them from your life expeditiously?
You definitely, first of all, you can't be in denial about it, right? Because it happens, right? You're gonna, we've all heard it. Your little business, your little channel, your little this, your little that. But I think you have to have the discipline. Once you are aware, it's gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen. Once you're aware, you have to have the discipline to, to fight that off, right? And it starts with your mindset. You literally, I chin check myself with the negative thoughts or with the negative feelings or with the, you start to make excuses. You really just have to make it part of your walk. Like, okay, so I'll give you an example really quickly. Outside doing an outdoor workout and I'm fussing. I don't even lie to you. I'm fussing a little bit. And then something said, girl, if you don't shut up, because as soon as you get done, you're going into your warm house where you're going to make you some hot tea, hot shower, change your clothes, shut up. Like you literally just have to become aware and be, and as soon as you notice it, turn it around, get your mindset together.
That. It really is a mindset. And I get why it's difficult sometimes, JP, because sometimes the people who are those negative influences have literally seen you through some of your darkest moments, right? Yeah. But now that you're growing and you're moving, they can't stomach it for whatever reason, or you guys are growing at 2 different rates of speed. So I get it. It's difficult, right? But it's got to be done nonetheless, man. You cannot build anything of substance, anything of any amount of significance if you're constantly hounded by the negative energy and vibrations of people who don't believe in themselves. And usually that's the reason that they're trying to superimpose their limitations on you, is because they doubt themselves to begin with. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, the quote of the day, or in this case, the book excerpt of the day, brought to you by Personal Branding 365. If you are trying to build a personal brand, then you need this ebook and the $200 worth of bonuses that comes with it for just $8, ladies and gentlemen. Go to personalbranding365.com and let us teach you how to build a profitable, powerful, and more importantly, an attractive personal brand that will attract to you your ideal customers and clients and convert them into customers and raving fans on autopilot. Personal Branding 365. Just go to personalbranding365.com and check it out for yourself. JP, I ask everybody that comes on the show this one question. And that question is this: who the heck are you?
I'm a servant.
Love it. Love it. Expound.
All right. So with or without the title, I'm just here to serve, man. I'm just here to, do the best I can every single day, as a sister, as a daughter, as a friend, um, as a colleague. I'm just here to serve in whatever capacity that is. Um, don't get it twisted though. I don't put up with a bunch of mess, but I definitely enter with you know uh, the posture to serve. So
Yeah,
in everything I serve.
I love it. And I think people tend to um, misconstrue how you can win through service, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
really got it twisted that if I'm serving all the time, there can't be anything in it for me, right? Where is my blessing in that? How do I build my riches in that? How do I build a business that way? But at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is all about service.
Yeah.
And the biggest, most wealthy people in the world are the biggest servants, right? Think about someone like a Steve Jobs, right? Created Apple and the iPhone. He served millions of people by putting the personal computer in your pocket.
Yeah,
Most people don't see that as a service, but
yeah,
that was his desire. Like, no, I want to give everybody access to the power of this technology. And
mhm,
that's how he served, right? The more people you serve, the more money you stand to make. The bigger the problems that you solve through your service, the more money that you stand to make. And I think that's a powerful position to be in. Are you born and raised St. Louis native or transplant? How did
yeah,
you
yeah.
born and raised?
STL, all STL,
Okay,
all
okay.
STL.
I was transplanted at the age of 9. I was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. I tell everybody I was probably born in the same hospital with Elvis, right? But that's a lie, because Elvis was probably born at home because he's a lot older than me, and they were birthing babies on the floor when Elvis was born,
Listen,
right?
true, very true.
Right, right. So when you started your entrepreneurial journey, was that something that was always in you from childhood? Or did you go through high school, college? Did something happen? Was there a pivotal moment in your life that says, you know what? I think I can do better for myself than I can working for someone else.
Actually, no, it wasn't. It wasn't something that I even thought about. If I'm being honest, my parents were in our old school. Father
Mhm,
born in 1930, mother born in 36, grew up on plantations. So, the
mhm,
dream was, you go to school, you get you a good job, you know, and going
mhm,
about your business. I decided that to pay for school, college, that I would serve in the military. So I went
mhm.
into the Army and did it that way. And when I did enter into corporate America, I did very well. I wasn't in, I wasn't, uh, you know, it didn't bother me until I had a review with a company that I actually enjoyed working for, and um, the only critique they had for me was that I was too busy on the floor with those people.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, those people wasn't just Black people. It was I was the director of operations for a warehouse, and
Mm-hmm.
those people were anyone that wasn't, in leadership. So
Mm-hmm.
me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm down on the floor. I'm sweeping. I'm picking up stuff. I'm buying snacks in the break room because, to be honest with you, that's the golden route right there, right? The
Mm-hmm.
people who
Mm-hmm.
were making these orders happen and getting them across the country, that
Mm-hmm.
that was the golden ticket for me. So that bothered me, man. That
Yeah.
really bothered me because without going into too much detail, I asked him like, "What do you mean those people?" And
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
explanations that the director of HR gave me, and there are VPs and directors sitting there and no one's correcting her. Like that bothered me. That bothered me so bad. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't. And to be honest, I just thought I was going to find another job, but um, actually ended up running into my very first mentor. And he literally told me, "You're too smart to work for anybody else."
Mm.
And 16 going on 17 years later, here I am.
Wow. Wow. And you kind of got into one of the questions that I ask every woman that comes on the show, especially every Black woman, is I know that Black women are the fastest growing segment of entrepreneurs in the world right now. And I often wonder, is it an awakening? And you had your awakening, 16 years ago, but do you think it contributes to an awakening to the fact that Black women, especially, aren't valued in corporate America? And there is too much pressure to assimilate and kind of dim your Black girl magic light in that space. Did you experience any of that in your corporate journey?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If I don't agree with you, I'm aggressive, right?
Mm,
um
mm,
and that was actually one of the things that she said, like, I'm literally speaking to her and them in the same tone that I'm speaking to you, and she was like, "Oh, there's no need to be aggressive, like you're great and everything else, we just don't think." I'm like, "Lady, let me tell you something." I spent a lot of time in the Cochrane, and I just
mhm.
served in the military. I can show you aggression.
This is
This
not
not it.
aggressive.
This is not it. Okay. And so, yeah, I definitely think that, we're fed up.
Mhm,
We're fed up. So, when they don't want to make you, for me, it's a little more than just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm bringing you to the table." Yeah, but if you're bringing me to the table and I only get the crumbs that you leave, I'm
mhm.
I'm still like I'm still not getting fed. So I tell you what, I'll build my own table while I bake my bread.
Right,
And so I
right.
think that's what a lot of Black women are just saying, like, "No worries, we got this. we'll
Mhm.
build it ourselves."
Yeah, and it's difficult, and as difficult as it is, a lot of our Black women are single moms and things of that nature. So it's not always easy to walk away from a job, a steady income that's feeding the family and all that kind of stuff. But even in that, we're seeing, even before COVID, a mass exodus of Black women saying, you know what, especially when they get to a certain age and it comes to, I'm tired of perming my hair. I'm tired of
Yeah,
trying to be made up and perfect every day. I'm tired of wigs and all this stuff. I just want to be me. And that is typically not acceptable in the corporate structure, right? It's like,
yeah,
hey, what are you doing with your hair? Right? The F you
yeah.
mean what I'm doing with my hair is my hair. It ain't got nothing to do with how I'm going to do this job,
Okay.
right? So I believe all of that plays a role, and really that mass exodus that's happening, and I'm glad for it, and I really and truly believe that this world has been out of balance because it lacks the feminine energy, right? For eternity, it has been testosterone run, And I think now we're starting to see more and more women in positions of power and leadership. And we're starting to see
Yeah.
some of that feminine energy create counterbalance for us. And I'm
Yeah.
excited about that, man, because I truly believe that that's what the world is missing is that woman's touch, and not a suppressed woman's touch, but a free thinking woman's touch. And I can't wait to see more of that. So we're at a point in the show, JP, where I do something called 1 minute motivation. 1 minute motivation is where I play a short motivational video, usually 30 to 60 seconds or so. And then I'll just ask you to comment your takeaways, and I'm going to give my takeaways from this particular clip. And so let's get into 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Check it out.
When you go to pray again, please pray 10 minutes and sit for 60 and just listen. You'll be amazed how loud he speaks. Finally, he gets to talk. Prayer is you talking. Meditation is you listening. Suppose you and I have a conversation. You come to see me to ask for some things. You tell me everything, and then no wait for me to even tell you what I want to do. You just leave. That's stupid, isn't it? We do it to God all the time. And God goes and say, wait, don't go yet. I didn't answer you yet. Where you going? Wait. And you're gone. You think you already did your prayer time. See? And you keep asking God, how come I'm not hearing from you? How come I'm not getting any direction from you? God's saying, because you don't wait for the directions. You give me instructions. A forest is not ahead of the seed. It's in the seed. Your future is in you, been there all along, but there's too much noise. So as you get home, clink, remote on. In the car, boom, 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 boom. God is saying, man, this is a lot of noise for the last 50 years. I can't even get to this person.
I don't know. That's how I like to start my day, and I try to bring some of that into the show every episode, because people don't understand that personal growth and self-development is not only when you're listening to something positive. Everything that you consume, even the food you eat, contributes to your personal growth and self-development. The question is, are you growing in the right direction? So I love this, because we all just listen to the same clip, but we all heard something different. So what did you hear?
Oh man, I heard stop and listen. Right. I know for me personally, in prayer, not only am I asking for, whatever it is, I literally also ask for the state of mind and the state of peace to hear the answer. And I told, you know this, prayer is a big part of what I do, right? You've been around for a minute now, so what I heard was stop and listen. Stop and listen.
I think that was powerful to me, because that is most people's perception of prayer. Is, God, I'm going to tell you what I want and what I need. I might even squeeze in a couple thank yous and praise the Lords and hallelujahs, but really, God, I'm talking to you because I need you to know what I need. And then when I finish talking, I'm out. He's like, no, meditation is you listening. And I don't care what your faith is. The power of meditation and being still and quiet. JP, I tell people all the time that I spent the first 25, 26 years of my life trying extremely hard to convince the world that I really was who I was pretending to be. Because I had some trauma in my life as a kid, molesting, beat, abuse, all kinds of stuff went on, neglect in my life. And I was that person who literally was afraid to get quiet with my own thoughts. So I was a guy who, when you get in the car, first thing you do is turn on the radio. When I'm in the house, even if I'm not watching TV, every TV in the house is on. Why? Because I'm scared to walk in a room and the TV is not on and it's quiet. And then I get to hear it from God. I get to hear myself think. And I was afraid of that. And I know a lot of people have that same fear. But until you get quiet, until you get still and listen, you'll never get any clear direction for your life. Like they said, the forest is not ahead of the seed, it's in the seed. So
Yeah,
everything you need is in you. You just got to sit still at some point and listen to that
yeah.
direction. So that is
I love
1 minute
that.
motivation, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
love
right
that.
here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the Black Bear Success Mastermind. If you need help building or growing or starting a business, then text the keyword mastermind at 314-866-4053. We literally provide hundreds of dollars of free training, resources, and tools every single week that can help you grow your business. Even this weekend, we have a couple workshops lined up to help you start a business. In fact, our free book of the month, our free course of the month is how to start a freelance business. And you get access to that by texting mastermind at 314-866-4053. So JP,
Yes, sir.
16 years of entrepreneurship. What was your first endeavor?
I started out doing promotions for a band um, called New Era
Mm-hmm.
back in 2006. I'm gonna age myself because I don't really care. No way. And so they played at Sprues for those in SDL that know about Sprues. That's
Yeah.
literally where I started. From there, I met some artists. I started managing some artists. I managed the R&B group,
Mm-hmm.
um, a few rappers. I helped some folks self-publish books. I did a concert series or two or three or four. So I started out in entertainment, and
Mm-hmm.
I slowly started realizing like the value and where people really poured into me was by me coaching them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like just me saying, "This, well, how did you do that? Or how did you do that?" So, for example, um, the R&B group I managed did a mixtape, which is pretty much at that time unheard of for an R&B group. But we
Mm-hmm.
set up a tour based off of a mixtape for a
Wow.
local R&B group,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, the merchandise game was crazy. We had, shout out to Mo Trey. We had Mo Trey everything. It was
Mm-hmm.
pins, buttons, thongs, you name it. They were R&B group. Ladies wear thongs. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's
Yeah.
let's keep it real. So we had everything, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where it started. But then I started getting asked more on the coaching side. You know, hey, can you speak here? Can you do a workshop here? Can you do this? Can you do that? And so I started to pivot more into the coaching, the education side, and
Mm-hmm.
here I am.
Yeah, I love that. And I want you guys to write this down in your notes. There's more in what you know than what you do, right? And I think people are asleep on their own intellectual capital, right?
Absolutely.
And we hear a lot about in the Black community our $1.2 trillion spending, our 2 trillion, depending on who you listen to, that number fluctuates between a trillion and three
Yes.
trillion, right? As Black
Yes.
people, we just pull that money, but you can't even put a number on the value of the collective intellectual capital that we have if we brought our minds together. That right there is the game changer. And I believe that is the true fear of the Black planet. If these folks start thinking alike and collectively, then it's a flat out wrap, right? So,
Yeah.
how long did it take for you to figure out that, okay, I manage groups, I manage R&B, I know how to put merchandise together, I know how to put tours together, I know this stuff. And then the transition to, okay, now instead of doing what I know, actually turn what I know into the product. How long did it take for you to make that transition?
I think it took me about 3 years after people started hitting me up about it. It took me about
Mm-hmm.
3 years, like, hey, this is where it's at. And I tell you what, it it fired me up. It still does to this day. And so it took me about 3 years to completely transition to where I became like, it took me a long time to be like, no, you're a coach. Like,
Yeah.
people are paying you to be their coach. You know, people are seeking you to speak because you're a coach. It took me about 3 years, and why it took me the 3 years is, in all transparency, is, you know, I did well on the entertainment side. You know, I did very well on the
Yeah.
entertainment side, and so it took a mindset shift to go from, okay, instead of me putting this show together, let me put this curriculum together. Two different beasts right there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I had to shift my mindset. I had to, you know, sit down and listen, right? Like, okay, God, what are you telling me here? Because it got to the point where it was, I was at a point where it was, I had to let something go, right? I had to. I absolutely had to bring true value to one or the other. And I prayed about it some more, you know, had my silent time, and, you know, the coaching won.
Gotcha. And that's a big point, in that the temptation is, well, I keep hearing that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Well, I'll just keep this stream and then just add the coaching. But a lot of people going down that road don't understand the key cog in those 7 streams of income for most millionaires, and it's synergy. It's alignment. Yeah, they got 7 streams, but they're all in alignment. They don't have to be in 7 different verticals and 7 different business models. Nope. I got one model. I make the iPhone. So now let me sell you an app to go on the iPhone, and that's another stream. Let me sell you Apple Music. That's another stream that's in alignment with the mainstream, right? Let me ask you this. Did you...
So wait, look, to that point really quickly, the funny thing is I still have several people in the entertainment industry that I coach. I'm their business coach now.
Right. So it's the alignment. It's like, hey, I'm shifting from going on the road with you. I'm shifting from putting your tour dates together. Let me teach you how to do that. Let me sell you this course on how you can get your mind wrapped around how to do some of these very things. I think that is so missing. And when you think about where most people are financially, you know, check to check and that kind of thing, and the power that we have with the internet, in terms of, I had a program where I taught people how to write a book in 21 days, right? It's like, you don't need, what I'm saying is, there's no more gatekeepers, right? Most people think that there are still gatekeepers. The internet has literally leveled the playing field, where anybody can pick up this device right here and go directly to consumer with whatever they have in their mind, and let the marketplace make the decision as to whether it's valuable or not, right? There is no AR person that stops someone who can sing from singing on YouTube. There is no talent scout that stops someone who's beautiful from pushing themselves as a model, right? We see it all the time, but a lot of people are still caught up in, it's got to be product based, or they don't value what they know. So that leads me to my next question. As a coach early on, did you ever find yourself dealing with imposter syndrome, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You know, I'll tell you one of the things that probably it shook me up, man. I got to my car and I was completely shook. I'm a Microsoft partner, and I have been. I think we're in our 11th year now, and I was doing, you know, some stuff, some free courses, right, and workshops and things like that. And then I got contacted by someone and said, "Hey, we want to pay you to put this series together." And in the moment, I'm like, "Oh, cool, let's do it." Man, they wrote that check, and I looked at that check, and I was just like, oh, these people gonna find out that I only been doing this for a little minute. You know, like, why are you gonna listen to me? Like it's real. It's
Yeah.
and if any coach or any person tells you that they still don't deal with some level of imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
they're lying. They're
Yeah.
lying to you. I mean, right now I'm building a network. I've never done that before. So I'd be lying to you if I told you it didn't creep in and be like, so why should people care about your network?
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like why
Yeah.
why should they listen to you? You know, you're new to this too. But I'm really
Mhm.
not, right? I've been prepping for this for a minute. So
Yeah.
yeah, imposter syndrome is real. It is very real.
Yeah, and that's something that I deal with often as well, even in putting together the personal branding 365 course. I just wrapped up two of the last modules yesterday, and I'm like, man, is this worth what I'm asking people to invest in this? Are they gonna get
Ooh,
it? Will it transform their lives like it transformed my life? Like, it's no,
listen.
you should just make this a free program, Cortez, and just give it to people. And I'm like, like, no, stop it. It took me 11 years to learn this stuff, and I
Yeah,
spent
yeah,
thousands of dollars and thousands of hours in trial and error figuring this stuff out, right?
yeah.
But yeah, it is still something that shows its face quite frequently. How did you deal with it, or how would you recommend helping someone deal with that? They know what they have is valuable, but they wrestle with putting a price on it, especially a price that is appropriate, right?
Oh man, I really, as cliche as it sounds, just do it anyway.
Hmm.
And you can adjust your pricing as you go, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
one one secret that my business coach gave me is like, you know, when you're first approaching things or whatever, there's nothing wrong with an introductory price. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Until
Hmm.
you get your
Yeah,
swag, until you're comfortable with it, and then you take it there. If
yeah.
that makes you feel more comfortable, go with it. I do it all
Hmm.
the time. Hey, I have this, I have that, and this is the introductory price while I work out the kinks
Hmm.
while I figure it out, while I get comfortable in it, while I dig my heels in. Yeah, we could take
Hmm.
this walk, you know, together, but again, introductory. But
Yeah.
you really just have to push past it. There is no secret formula for getting past that fear,
Hmm.
because that's really what imposter syndrome is it's fear.
Right.
It's that fear of the unknown, the fear of the what if. You really just have to, you know, get disciplined, push past it, pray your way
Hmm.
through it.
Yeah, and I think really, yeah, fear is at the foundation of it. But we got to look at successful models, right? There is
Yeah,
no iPhone 13 without iPhone 1. iPhone 1, as
true.
y'all know, you iPhone users, Team Android over here, iPhone 1 was not ready. Come on. Everybody who got iPhone 1, you know without a shadow of a doubt, it was not ready. But
Yeah,
how did it get ready? It had to be introduced to the marketplace, and the marketplace said, "Hey, Apple, you got all of these apps over here. Don't nobody want that crap. Here's what we wanted to do." And then Apple said, "Oh, we spent
gotcha.
$1 million in development for what we thought the people want. And as we look at the data, nobody even uses that crap, but they all want this over here." And you
Yeah,
never get to that point if you don't put the stuff out. I think you said
yeah,
something else that was very key as well, that be honest. We have this grandiose idea of entrepreneurship in a lot of cases where we want to start with the big marquee and the big building and all of this stuff, right? And you're saying, no, be honest with your folks and say, listen, I'm just getting started. I would love to help you with what I know. And based on my limited experience, here's what the price structure is going to look like. And let's grow this thing together. Right? There is
yeah, yeah, yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
nothing wrong with that. People beta test, big companies beta test stuff all the time.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
And you
Yes,
get
sir.
big discounts for being first adopters into programs and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I love that. Speaking of being new and getting started, you decided that you're going to start not a YouTube channel, not a Facebook live stream, not podcast. You decided you're going to start an entire media network, right? Where did that idea come from? And what is the vision and the passion behind it? And then let's get into some ownership. I love the way that you are approaching this with owning it versus taking money and some of the other options that are out there.
So I think that the idea, I've been doing it for a while. I've been consulting people on television, films, radio shows, podcasts. I've been teaching workshops for years, and started my own podcast with a couple of co-hosts, Testimony Tuesday Radio. We started out actually as a live event. It turned into a radio show, then a podcast, now a TV show, and all those things.
Wow.
And then introduced the podcast push, heading into season 3 of that. And for a while, I didn't do anything visual whatsoever, right? I'm trying to stay under the radar, none of that. Went into the visual aspect, and enjoying what we have in our partnership with ABC 30, and was just asked, like, there are some options for like Roku partnerships and this, that, and the other. Have you considered it? I was like, no. And I hadn't, but not even realizing, like, I've been prepping for it all this time. Like, I've literally been prepping for it all this time. Took it, put it in the prayer journal, hit the knees, and he said, go for it. And go for it in a way that you always have, and that's to serve. So I started hitting people up even before, I even bought the cameras. I started hitting people up like, hey, I'm doing this thing. You want to go with me? Type of deal. It's been a very interesting journey. And I know for a fact that it is going to make a huge impact to those who stick.
Yeah. And I think I heard Brother Ben X, so this is an influencer I follow out of Dallas. I think he's out of Dallas, Texas, or maybe Houston. He said, don't chase passive income, chase passive impact. And then the passive income will chase you, right?
Absolutely.
And I think people miss the power in media, right? It is a passive impact, right? When you put a show out like what you guys are doing on Testimonial Tuesdays, and some of the other shows that are on the network, and those shows are powerful, and they're going to impact people for years to come on a passive basis, because you don't have to recreate that content over, right?
Yeah.
And as that passive impact in people's lives are happening, what are they going to do? They're going to go tell everybody, man, did you see the Intentional Woman show on Unheard TV? You need to go check that out. Did you see Tiara Speaks on Unheard TV? You need to go check that out. And then it grows, and ultimately that viewership balloons, and the passive income starts to follow the passive impact that people are making. So your ownership model, you decided that with your connections, there's tons of people that would be willing and able to throw money your way to help you do this thing. And you said, nah, I'm gonna do it myself. Where does your ownership philosophy come into play with this entire network and the way you're building it?
So I chose to go for ownership in a way to where I can decide how to slice the pie with my folks. I didn't want the limitations of working under the pressure of, oh, well, I got to do this for them because they put a few dollars in. And what I mean by that, in full transparency, anyone who is associated with this channel, and Cortez will tell you, I literally have a formula where you can make 6 figures. Now you got to put some work in. You gotta put in some work. However, you can make six figures, and so that was important to me. I also went for ownership because we have now 18 expansion cities and countries. My goal is ultimately to be able to turn around and say, okay, Cortez, well, Memphis is now yours.
Yeah.
Camille, this city is yours, or this country is yours, and all the folks that are part of the team. That's the ultimate goal, is to be able to really leave the breadcrumbs. And my expectation is then, when I say, well, Cortez, here's Memphis, that you have 5 or 6 people that you're training and bringing up along the way as well, and we grow it that way, and it's organic, right? It's organic. And when I say organic, like, I'm behind the camera sometimes. Right now, full transparency, had to let some folks go. I'm behind the camera myself, because that's what I mean. Like, I mean business, and I mean that this platform is going to be a true impact, not chasing money, but a true impact, and the money will come. I've been sustaining myself 16 years, self-funded. No disrespect to anyone who has done other funding things, but for me, this is my legacy, right? This is my legacy, and so that's why I chose to build partnerships, so I can maintain ownership, so I can make sure that you maintain your ownership, right? Because you're about to hit season 2, and they're gonna just come out the woodworks for you, because you're dropping gems every single episode. So that's why it was important to me to be able to turn around and say, hey, Cortez, let's do this. And here's your piece of the pie, and your pie look like mine, right? And instead of us saying, well, your pie browner than mine, now we're talking about how now we can both get 2 pies, not 4 pies. And that was important to me.
Yeah, and that is why ownership is so important to me. When we had our first conversation, I only had one question: do I get to own my content? I mean, I want to be a part of the vision. I see it, but do I own my content? And he said, yes. Okay, well, I don't have any other questions about that. The money will come, everything else will come. But I love the motto that you said, hey, you're an influencer, and I recognize the power and potential that you have. He said, hey, when you do the content, we're going to put it on a network, and it's off limits for a little while, but after that, you still own it, but let us do what we do with it first. And then beyond that, hey, man, the sky's the limit, man. Take it, repurpose it. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm looking for. And I think more entertainers and more employers, more CEOs, more founders need to take that approach. I heard a guy on Instagram yesterday or day before talk about a lot of Black business owners who are in positions of power exhibiting slave master syndrome, right? I grow my business, my brand, and the reason I grew my business and brand because I didn't like the way I was treated in corporate, and now I am corporate, and now I go and turn around and treat people the same way that I was being treated when I was in corporate, right? And I love that you have looked at all of those things and said, how can I best make a win-win-win for everybody that connects to the network? So how big is this thing going to get? I mean, where are we going with it?
I mean, we're just 5 months old, but we have a 5-year plan currently. And so, like I said, we have 18 expansion markets. So, we're pushing. We're going to continue to push. I want to touch on something you just said about, people who are in position of power. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in building this network is, as a coach, trying to get people to understand the value in serving and not chasing the dollar is through the roof, right? I've literally had people I've known for years and years and years you know, lose this opportunity because they're chasing the dollar. I have people who are, full transparency, sitting right now in a position to make six figures, but they're still chasing, social media likes. Right? They're still, you know, don't want to talk to people, don't want to build relationships, don't want to do this, don't want to do that. And so I tell people all the time, like, I'll share everything I know, but business will be handled. And if you don't handle business, I'll see you later. I'll politely ask you to exit. But, business has to be, business has to be handled. I want to make sure that I drive that home. Like, business has to be handled. I just told y'all, like, I shoot one of the shows on Friday, right? Prayer hour is on Thursday. I shoot a show on Friday, shoot my own on Sunday, doing a storyboard for a musical tour on Sunday. I'm putting in the work. I put in the reps. So I will not carry the weight of somebody who feels too entitled to do the things that I myself do as a founder. That's a big thing for me. There are opportunities. There are still opportunities for anyone who's looking, who's willing to be trained, who's willing to work. We have some opportunities, but I won't. And here's the thing: because of my prayer life, because of that, God won't make you stick no way. You'll exit stage left. You'll do it yourself. I say this. The petty pimps, TV2, DJ Radar. They say, "Oh, you forever firing somebody." I said, "I've never fired anybody. They fire themselves."
Yeah. And you let it happen.
So ownership doesn't, ownership isn't just because of your title. Everyone who runs a production, everyone who does any admin, you're owning this too. I just said the goal was, I don't even have 18 people on staff, but I have 18 expansion cities and countries. I can't do that myself. Right? Yeah. So, but I also have to be able to trust that you're going to take care of home. Right now we're home. We have officially launched in Atlanta though, but right now you got to take care of home. You got to be serious about that. So ownership just doesn't come with the title. It has to be part of your character.
And that's important. There's a lot of Facebook memes that circulate that basically show what leadership is. It is not cracking a whip and saying, you go do this. It's saying, let's go do this. And I love that you are always in the trenches and still wearing both hats. Like, you still wear the coaching hat. I can't wait for my coaching session on this Saturday coming up, right? I'm just excited about that.
We have a session. Yeah.
That says, hey, not only do I want you to be a part of this, but I want to help you be better overall. Even if we part ways, I want to do my part while you're in my presence to help you become the best version of you. Yes, it will benefit me if you stick around, but even if you don't, I've done my part, right? To be a servant and to serve you to become your highest level of self. Man, this hour has flown by, JP. Tell everybody how, no, before we go, we got one other segment that I got to do. I almost forgot.
Okay.
I do a show on the segment on the Cortez Hustle Show called Freestyle, because I know you got bars, JP. You can't be born and raised in St. Louis and not have bars. No,
I don't have any bars, man. That's not.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about when I say freestyle. Freestyle is not about rapping or rhyming to a beat, but I could drop a beat if you want one now. So it's not about that. But as I'm building my media empire that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney, starting with this podcast, I don't always ask the right questions. The conversation doesn't always evolve to where we want it to. So freestyle is your opportunity to speak for 2 minutes. Anything that you got on your heart, anything that you said that needs to be reiterated, anything we didn't get to talk about that you wanted to mention, this is your chance to just speak from your heart and talk to the people. So this is freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the JP CEO version. Hit them with your best bar, sis.
First of all, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank God. Thank everybody, man. Especially the folks who are close to this network, to this journey, to this vision. I would say, no matter what you're doing, it doesn't even have to be media. Like whatever your religion is, stay close to the source, to your source. Because let's be honest, the people who tell us we can't are usually the people who we say we love you to most of the time. All right. So you got to have some strength to fight that off. Get disciplined. Find a way to get disciplined. I'll tell you, full transparency, I am not always motivated, but discipline always makes me get my butt up anyway. Okay. Just finished 75 hard. If you don't know what that is, Google 75 hard. It'll change your life. It's really all about discipline. Yeah, it's some workouts and stuff in there, but it's really about changing your mindset. Work on your mindset. Do what you need to do. Audio books, read, get with other people, man. Build relationships. Get out of that. I don't like people, or I don't want to be. Listen, the greatest leaders were the greatest students. I say all the time, I'm a forever student. I have a few business coaches. I have mentors, and I'm almost 17 years in. So, get your source, your God into your business, get that mindset together, and be a forever student.
Love it. Man, drop the mic, JP. That's what we do around here. That is freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the JP CEO version. I put a meme out this morning as I was listening to some of my motivation that says motivation has an expiration date. When motivation dies, discipline must kick in, right?
Yeah, man.
You're not always going to be motivated, right?
No.
At some point that fades, and that's where your discipline shows up on the days that you absolutely do not feel like it. JP, tell everybody how they can connect with you, how they can follow your journey as you are building this multi-billion-dollar international conglomerate known as Unheard TV and Unheard Media.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You need friends in your life that introduce your business like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So Facebook is JP CEO. Instagram and Twitter is only the number one JP CEO. Websites, unheardmedia.biz, unheardradio.world. Check us out on Roku. Unheard TV season 2 is cooking as we speak. Just reach out, connect. If you have questions, just reach out. I'm all about, building with people. People need people, plain and simple.
That's it. Everybody forgets that every business, no matter what it is a relationship business first, right? Yeah. That's what people forget that. I don't care what you're selling, you're in a relationship business, right? So you got to get that figured out. So we've been listening to and learning from JP, CEO of unheardmedia.biz, Unheard TV on Roku. And when you download the Unheard TV channel to your Roku app, we got a free vacation for you, right? And you might be entered into a drawing and win some cash too. So make sure you hit us up to learn more about that. So until we talk to you next time, we want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.